Hey guys, it's Missy Wolf, and I'm here with Crown Jwlz. How are you today?
Good. Hi. Thank you so much for having me on, Missy.
No,
How are you doing?
I'm doing well. Thank you so much. Now, I want to talk about so much, but you have a debut EP called California King. And
Yes.
first of all, I love it. I think it's great. But what I want to talk about first is the photo shoot for that. Man, it is exquisite, the photos that you have for this EP. I love it. I love it. And I want to know whose idea it was.
The team I worked with was amazing. The concept for the shoot, the Crown Jwlz and the California King idea, I had already conceived. And one of my super close friends, her name is Crown Jwlz. She's an amazing photographer.
Mm-hmm.
We were talking, and she was like, "I have a great concept for shooting." And I was like, "Well, we need to do the king, obviously a king shot on the throne." And she was like, "Yeah, but we should do the front should be more the king side of you." And she's like, "But then, everybody has different sides to themselves. What if we do the back as the queen shot?" And I never thought of that before, and I thought it was a really interesting dynamic. And she added that to the to the plot, and together, the artistic director did, and it was awesome. She's super talented. I work pretty much all the time with her now.
Right. Oh, that's great. When I saw that, I was like, wow, it's so well done, and it's glamorous, and it's bold, and it makes a statement, and I really liked it. So
thank you so much.
No problem. And the title itself, California King, that and it's you. It does seem pretty bold, and I was reading your bio on that, and you had a pretty big statement to make, which I thought was just really great and sets an example for others. So can you explain your thought behind that?
Well, I've definitely been a feminist my entire life, the type of girl that definitely, which I think most of us are. Challenge any type of, restriction put in front of them. And growing up in Texas, it's definitely a place that is more cliche in how they treat girls and boys, so to speak, in the role of the man and the woman, so to speak, in life. And
right.
And there's nothing wrong with that, but I've always been, very much a little bit of both. I'm obviously a woman, but I have a feminine and I have a masculine side. I think we all do.
Right.
And California King, it kind of challenges those conventional gender roles, those typical ways that we see things. It says, a woman can be king too. It says, the highest position in the land essentially is supposed to be king. Well, a woman can hold that too. It's making a statement. It's challenging that, that or antiquated concept and, kind of turning it on its head.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think that's great. And, there's a lot of young girls out there who, they want to do things in life that are more, traditionally a man's job, and but they love it, and they don't want to feel, discouraged about it. So I think you're right on the money with that. I think that, this is something that needs to be addressed, and I think you did it in a really creative, positive way, and I think it's really fun, and I think it's definitely going to speak to a lot of females out there, and a lot of men as well. You know what I mean? Like, this is not, just one way or the other. It could be anything you want it to be. And if you work hard for it and you do well, then good for you, So I love that. I love that message.
Definitely. I have guy friends that work in industries, that are not always seen as, I have guy friends that are ballet dancers, it's like, that's not always, people don't see it. And that's, it's a challenge in a different way for them. They're challenging in a conventional thing of, what most men would see a man doing as masculine. Right. Everything is different. Things are very fluid these days. And I think people are starting to realize that there's a lot of different aspects and sides to all of us. And we're not just like one thing. And this is the time, and it's a great time to explore, every side of yourself, no matter what it is, and just not be afraid of it. Just like Freddie Mercury always did, and David Bowie always did. They're two of my huge, biggest influences because, they were always challenging it. They were challenging those same kind of ideals, but, from the opposite side of the coin, but it's the same difference.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. And Freddie Mercury, man, what a great conversation that would be to have, right? With someone he's so way ahead of his time, and just an amazing human being. I think that would be one of those people, when you see those memes on Facebook, if you could sit on this park bench with one person from the other side for an hour, who would it be? Man, he would be really great to talk to. Be awesome. Anyway, sorry, sidetracking.
That would be, God, yeah, that would be amazing.
Right?
Either of them, both God, so it's either of them, both of them, yeah, wow, who knows? Anyway, sorry.
Absolutely. Now, do you have any female inspirations? Because you have, when I was listening to your EP, I heard, and I don't want to offend you if this is not, what you were going for at all, but I think she's great, and I think you're amazing. I heard a lot of, similarities between you and Gwen Stefani and, the No Doubt, sound. And, I'm not in everything, but there was some of it in your EP, and I was like, wow, she's really good. And I wanted to know if people actually ask you to cover her songs, because if you did, I know you do. I know you just nail them if you did.
Thank you. I mean, I love Gwen. She is such an incredible artist, and she's definitely somebody that I've always looked up to. She is one of the first women that I saw in a long time in doing rock music, kind of, like I said, she wasn't doing, dressing up in a bunch of dresses and skirts and whatever. She was running around in pants and sports bras, and she was kind of challenging things in her own way. And I love Gwen. She paves the way for a lot of us. It's like Blondie before her and Joan Jett before her, or Blondie and Joan Jett before her. They, all three of them are huge influences for me, and I do get a lot of comparisons to all three of them in different respects, because my voice can be a little more raw in certain songs. I'll get more Blondie and Joan Jett comparisons, and also just kind of my attitude and my look with the Blondie thing a lot. And then with Gwen, I definitely, vocally, there's comparisons, especially to old tracks of Kingdom, and I think that's a huge compliment. I mean, to be compared to any of these people, they're so exquisitely talented.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
When I'm doing this job, I never know if it's somebody I haven't spoken to, somebody I don't know really well, right? I'm like, okay, you just never know if a comparison is going to bother somebody or not. So I always apologize ahead of time, but, at the same time, man, if I'm not going to compare them to somebody who sucks. You know what I mean? I'm not going to.
I don't really have artists that honestly, people, I think I've been in interviews where people will talk about, what do you think about the females industry? What do you think about? I respect everyone. I don't have a bad thing to say about any other artist.
Absolutely.
Everybody is just, Gwen happens to be a huge influence for me too, so that's beyond that. But anybody that is doing this, is doing it at that level, is working their tail off.
Absolutely.
And they, deserve a huge amount of respect. And, it doesn't do anybody any good to bring it down or be threatened by anyone else,
Exactly.
You're always going to be compared to other people, because there's other people that came before us,
Absolutely. And, you're right. And the best way to be a human being is to uplift someone else. And, to encourage them to keep following their dreams. And they may not be where they need to be to go to that next step, but to discourage them is just the wrong thing to do. So
for sure.
I love your outlook. I absolutely appreciate it, because I think we need more people like you who are supportive rather than judgmental. And unfortunately, in our world, we come across a lot of judgmental people, which is really harsh. But
for sure.
And that's why Center Stage Magazine, we keep everything really, really positive. We don't want to contribute to any of the negativity out in the world, and we want to just support the newer artists and the undiscovered artists and the, up and coming, and then the, independent. We just want to support everybody that we can. And obviously, there's the top 40, and no disrespect to them, but that's not our main focus here either. You know what I mean? We really want to help give those who don't have a platform or don't have, a huge following, or who are doing this all on their own, they're independent. We want to give them a way to get heard, and we want to, bring more attention to them, because you guys are, you're so talented. And I know you've been playing all over LA, right?
Yes.
Have you gone outside of LA recently? Do you have a tour coming up or anything?
That's kind of, I'm in the works of working some stuff to get some shows booked out outside of Los Angeles currently, so that's exciting. And I'm working right now on putting out some online content. We have a video coming out for Party Past the Sunrise here pretty soon, which is the pop kind of, song on the EP. And I'm also currently in the studio doing another smaller EP. I'm going to be just doing, we're doing 3 songs right now, but I think we decided to add another one. So now the 4-song EP coming out in the fall. So there's going to be a bunch of stuff coming out over the summer. I'm going to be playing some shows here coming up in July and the end of June. I'll start playing out again a bit. It took a couple of months here to get some online content out, and there's just been so much going on that, we had to stay with the studio and everything else. I was like, I got to concentrate on that. But the new songs, I think everybody's really going to love, and they show, it's got the same flavor of Crown Jwlz on California King, but it's just taking it to a different level, and adding a little bit more other elements in there. It's got a little bit more, not electronic in the sense that it's an electronic song, but there's a lot of synths and some fun stuff coming in. I think you guys are really going to enjoy it.
Definitely. Well, Party Past Sunrise, I was going to talk to you about that. It is definitely going to be like a favorite summer song. I mean, for sure. It's really fun. I was listening to it all day, actually. I love it.
Oh, my God, yes.
I love it. I think it's great. And, I had my daughter kind of grooving along to it. She didn't know the words, but she was like, she's a dancer, so she likes.
Oh, I love it.
But, yeah, she was getting into it also. It was pretty fun. But your debut single was, titled Without You. I love the video. I loved the video. So I watched that, and I was like, wow, this girl, you have – I wouldn't classify you in one specific sound either. You sort of are across the board. You can pretty much sing and do whatever you want. So how hard is it for you to pick which song is going to be on your EP?
I mean, I think it's more about, usually it's for me, because I'm always writing them,
Mm-hmm.
So it kind of just, you feel it. There's certain songs, like I write songs all the time, but there's ones that when I just write it, I mean, I'm constantly writing. I don't have a problem ever writing. I have too many songs I don't know what to do with. But there's ones that always stand out. You're like, okay, that's one. That has to be one. Like when I wrote Cool, it was just one of those things. I was like, okay, this is definitely going to be on EP. It was just a no-brainer. I've never really had a hard time with that. And the people I work with, the producers, have always been amazing. And we've been able to hone in on the pre-production on really deciding what's right. It's never been difficult. So it's a really fun process, But it definitely, I think that it's good to show a range because, in this, it's not like it used to be. Like, people are all over the board and genres are just crossing over and, people are doing all, jumping from this, that, and the other, and that's awesome. And that's how it should be art. There should be no restriction in art. So, you don't have to put out every single song as a harder rock song or every single song as a pop song. You can show, some range on there, right. I think, now when you put stuff out. I think, especially if you're doing it independently, you have the ability to kind of do that as you want to.
Exactly. I think that's great, and I think that you're right, though. I mean, you grab to the positive of that, right? So what? You're not on this big, huge label, and you're not at the top 40, but you have more control over your career right now, right? I mean, you have a lot of say in what you're putting out there and what you're doing, and I think that speaks volumes, and I think it's actually more fun. And you're hearing more and more with these top 40 artists who are breaking apart from their labels. And you know why? Because they have creative differences, and I mean, and I'll tell you, because I'm a huge Bon Jovi fan, there was that big, huge thing where, he split from his record label. Now, after they got their act together and they woke up, you know what I mean? He's back home, as he says, where he belongs. But that was a big, huge thing, and it's happening more and more with these artists. And it's like, I got to give you the independent artists some props. I think it's a lot better for them, better for you, creating, your own, your own goals and your own dreams and doing it your way and putting your foot down. I think that's something to definitely, be thrilled about for you. I mean, I don't know if you feel the same way, but I just definitely.
No, I definitely do. I mean, I think there are people that, every artist is different. There are artists that need a lot of artist development. There are people that they have a voice and they want to sing, but they really don't know what to do. I'm really strong on my songwriting. Right. I have a very clear vision artistically, my artistic direction. I've had the California King concept, like the Crown Jwlz thing. That was all out of my head. So it's like I'm kind of one of those all-encompassing. I'm almost like an annoying control person that I have my hand in every pot,
Exactly.
And it's hard for me to let go of control on some level. So I do love being independent in that sense because I've established that it's obvious what my vision is. You can see what I'm all about as an artist when you go to Instagram or Facebook, or when you download my EP on iTunes, you can hear it, you can see it. In the imaging and the images you see and the sound and everything of the songs and everything, you can feel like a whole all-encompassing thing. And so for that, it's been awesome to develop that myself. And but getting involved in a label or publishing label, something like that, it's all awesome. And
right.
I think it does things in due time, and the right deal is the right deal.
It is.
But it's awesome to have myself established, and I do know who I am as an artist, and it's also because I've been doing this for a while, so I have the ability to really hone in on that, and I think that's really important, like experiencing different genres, like working with all kinds of different people, and playing a lot of different shows to really, like hone in on what you want and who you are and what kind of voice you really want to have. Like I don't mean like singing what your singing voice sounds like. I mean like what your actual like spirit is, what your voice you want to tell people, with your song
and everything. Yeah, no, definitely. And there's something really fun about your band too, and I kind of giggled when I read this. Your band is affectionately called the Royal Court. That is so cool. Yes. What do they feel about the name? And was that just one of those things where you guys just came up with it and everybody was like, oh my gosh, yeah, that just has to be it? Or what,
Well, I thought of it, just kind of thinking of the whole concept. I was like, well, obviously like, the fans are going to be the Royal Fam. Mm-hmm. And obviously they're part of the Royal Fam too. Everybody involved in the whole Crown Jwlz team and all the fans, it's all the Royal Fam. And then, it makes sense for them to be the Royal Court. And I was like, what am I going to call you guys? Like the Ben and bass or like the Duke of Drums? You're like, okay, now you're taking it too far, Jules. It was really funny. But they're amazing. I work with really amazing players.
Oh my
God, I know. I couldn't think of anything for the guitarist. It was like, but they're all so amazing, and I'm really, really lucky to work with all the players that I work with. They're fantastic musicians. They're fantastic people, and I'm really blessed.
That's
really,
awesome.
really blessed.
That's really awesome. Well, you could always go with the jester for the guitar person, right? But
Nick would kill me. Nick
Okay, Nick, I'm sorry.
Like,
I did not suggest that, Nick. I apologize.
Although he can pretty much pull off anything. He's he's one of those guys that kind of wear anything. He looks good, but
that's awesome. Okay, well, as long as he doesn't hate me, I'm sorry. I should not have said that. But no, it's great, and I love your personality too, and I love how honest and real you are. And there really is no BS with you and your music and your story, and I think that's pretty great. And I love that your message to everybody is what it is. It's complete honesty, and it's kind of rare to find that these days. I think I've seen it a lot where a lot of people think that other people. They say what they think other people want them to say, right? So.
Oh, for sure.
And that's something that I don't really like that. I like the honesty. So thank you for that. Thank you for being.
Well, thank you.
Absolutely, no problem. And
that's for my father. He raised me to be. He's Italian man. He's from Italy, and he's very straight to the point. And he always raised us not to BS. You don't gain anything by lying to people or bullshitting people or not being honest. It's just put you back. So I was really blessed to be raised by somebody as good of a man as he is.
Well, that's great. And that too these days is kind of questionable now, right? Because you see it all over the place, and you kind of think, where are these parents and where did these people learn how to do this?
I know, right?
It really is. I'm like, wow. I remember growing up.
There's a lot of good parents out there, though. There are.
Oh, there are.
You definitely do see, as parents, you're like, what do you do? You're like, their child's like running around the store screaming, and you're like, okay, what's up? But
yeah, exactly. You're like, the toy section is not really a babysitter so that you can go shop. Could you please go get your kids? No. But no, there are some, I love it when you see that one parent who you could just tell they've had like a really rough day and their kid is just being a monster and they just lay down the law. And I'm like, thank you. Thank you.
My one sister is like, she's really good at being, she just kind of like, she lets my nieces Blair and Josie kind of just explore their moment when they're having it. And it's kind of, it works. It's weird. Like, you kind of just let them go through it for a second, like not entirely, but and just kind of like, she's very calm with them. She kind of looks at them and speaks very calmly, and it seems to work pretty well, actually. Right. As opposed to instilling the fear, she's a little more, I don't know, she's got that kind of kinship with them. It's cool. Like, they get her when she starts the calm tone,
Well, and there's different levels, right? Because you do, and there's always that moment where, oh gosh, mom's calm. oh, she's really quiet. Oh, she must really be unhappy. Because I get that way too with my kids, and my kids realize when I go silent, there's a problem. And
Exactly. That's when you really have to worry, right?
Yes, definitely.
That's when you're grounded, you know?
Absolutely. or the look. When I remember growing up, man, when your mother would just give you that look, you're like, oh, sweet baby Jesus, I'm in so much trouble, you know?
Yeah, my father has that look. He has that look of, yes, the, like, do not move look. Like,
yeah, or like, you just know, and then they make you sweat it out all day, and you're like, oh gosh, what's going to happen to me when I get home later? No. I love that, you know, I have those stories and you have those stories too, and it just kind of makes you appreciate your life a little bit more. And when you see somebody else going through it, you're just like, yeah, okay, it's not so bad. But, okay, so I started to talk to you about your dog. I have to know, the name of your dog is so cute, and he's just the tiniest, cutest, furriest little creature ever with such a, I'm just going to say it, with a badass name. So
he actually just got back from the groomer a little while ago.
Did he?
He's all fluffy and adorable. And his name is Zoltan, and he actually, I adopted him in December. My friend Charlie originally rescued him, and he went to Australia. And since she had moved back, she couldn't bring him. And so she called me and said, would you be interested? And I said, yes, I would love to. And I'd never met him, but I went down to Orange County and I picked him up. I think it was December 18th. And yes, he's right here. He heard his name, so he came over. Hi, buddy.
Yes.
And he's just the sweetest little gentleman. And I just was so happy that, you know, he comes from, Charlie is we're friends with a big group of girlfriends, and me and her. And so he's kind of like everyone in the group of girlfriends knows him. So whenever any girls come over, they're like, oh, you know, Charlie, you have Zoltan, you know. And so it's kind of cool. He's like we're still in the family. It's adorable. It was the sweetest little gentleman.
That's awesome. No, I was following your Twitter because I'm part of the royal fam too. So
awesome.
But I was checking out his photos and I was like, oh my gosh, this dog is so cute. So
I call him Sir Didymus. Sir Didymus as a nickname, even though it's not really like short, but he kind of reminds me of the dog from The Labyrinth. You know, you think it's a dog, the one that's like, oh, Sir Didymus. So. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that is so funny. But yeah, because when I was looking at him, I was like, okay, I saw your hashtag with his name, and I was like, wow, that is a pretty fierce name for such a little dog, and it's so cute. And I just
Charlie gave him a great name.
Definitely. I think it's awesome, and you know, I mean, when I was talking to the co-founder Tommy, I was asking him, I was like, okay, this is the dog's name. What kind of dog do you think this dog is? He's like, well, the way you asked me that question, it's got to be a small dog because that's like a big dog name. And I'm like, you're right, it's totally a little dog. It's so cute though. But oh my gosh. Well, so you have your new EP out, California King, and it's available on iTunes, right?
Yeah.
Perfect. And you're going to be coming out with some more in the fall. I know you're working on some shows. Is there any place in LA that anyone, if we're close by, that we might be able to find you before your summer dates, or are you just waiting till your summer?
There's going to be a date in Los Angeles, in downtown Los Angeles. I'm going to be playing June. So stay tuned to my Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. It's all at Crown Jwlz, and that's CROWNJWLZ. And I will be announcing this next show here in the next week. So there will be an LA date, and I'm going to be playing some dates out of town, which will be awesome too. So I'm really excited to play another LA date before we play some out of town dates and stuff like that. And then we're going to be looking for the video coming out here in the next month. We're going to have a video for Party Past Sunrise, which is going to be really awesome. I think you guys are just going to love it. So really excited about that. And there's going to be some more live videos, because the video for Without You is actually that was a fully live video. We did it at NRG Studios. It's not your typical music video. It's done more in the format of the AOL, the old AOL Time Warner sessions. So we have a few more of those live videos, since we shot a few of those coming out as well. There's some fun sessions called the Sunset Sessions that are acoustic sessions that I did as well. They're acoustic versions of songs. There's going to be a lot of stuff that people can look forward to coming out here over the summer.
Great. Okay. Well, we'll make sure that we include all of your links, into a social media profile for you, and whatever videos we can add to our page for you as well. It's kind of like the way that our articles are. It's kind of like every artist ends up with their own little homepage on the magazine site, which is really fun. So fans will be able to connect to you in a much easier way. And if you have any of your shows, this is brand new that we're offering, so I want to tell you because I'm super excited. This just happened today. If you have any of your shows on bands in town, all of your tickets will be able to be purchased right from our magazine article as well. So we're linking that all
that's
up
awesome.
too, which is great. So if you haven't, I'm so excited about it. That's compliments of Tommy Lemon, the co-founder of the magazine, because he's like the brains behind all of this. And he's just always figuring out ways to help get the artists, out there even more to everybody. And this is just another way that we can help promote your concerts, your shows, your live events. That way people can get there in a very easy way, So anyways, well, thank you so much for taking the time to talk with us today. I really appreciate it. I had a lot of fun talking with you. And hopefully I'll be able to catch you at one of your shows here in LA. I'm an Orange County girl right now, so I'm not too far.
For sure.
Yeah.
I'll be announcing the date of this. I'll be announcing this next show here in the next week. It's going to be good. So definitely stay tuned to the website and
absolutely
look for all the socials and stuff. And thank you so much for having me.
No problem.
On the show. I had such a good time. This was awesome.
Oh, I'm so glad. All right. Well, stay in touch. If there's anything that you need, anything you want us to promote for you, any new stuff that you have coming out, always let us know. Send me a text. You have my number, whatever, anything, and we'll make sure we get on top of it. We'll share it on social media for you, whatever. So just keep us informed as to what you have coming up too, and we'll do everything we can to keep promoting you, because definitely you've got a great voice. You're super talented, and I know that all the listeners out there, if they don't know who you are yet, they're going to, and they're going to love you. So just keep up all the amazing work. I'm excited. I can't wait to see where you go from here.
Oh, my God. Thank you so much. I hope you have the best night.
Oh, you too. We'll talk soon.
Talk to you later.
All right. Bye.